All right. So good evening and welcome, guys, to our bootcamp. This will be our AI and machine learning introductory bootcamp. My name is Bakang, and I am the moderator for today's webinar, and I'm also the IT lead at Pulaspace. So first of all, I'd like to extend my warm welcomes to all of you guys here, attendees. We are thrilled to have you as we dive into the AI and machine learning industry. All right. So for today, I'm going to share with you guys the agenda for our webinar and have my own opening remarks. Right, let's look into our program. We're going to have a welcome and introductory and the overview of the bootcamp. And then we're going to have a Heckerbella introduction by Emmanuel. Heckerbella is our partners in Nigeria who will be delivering the content for you guys here. So you guys make sure you take notes as this is going to be packed with valuable insights and information. So after that, we're going to have our presentation session. Then we're going to have a Q&A, which I'd like every one of you guys to interact with. And even if you're shy, just send a message in the chat and we'll answer your questions. And then we're also going to have a summary of key takeaways, and we're going to share information on upcoming bootcamps and events. Then we're also going to have our closing remarks. So I hope you guys are looking forward to this program. And without further ado, I'd like to invite my brother, Emmanuel from Nigeria, Heckerbella team, to lead the session today. Brother, are you here?
Oh, thank you so much. Sorry for that. Once again, it's a pleasure being here to discuss with the team. Again today, as introduced earlier, my name is Emmanuel, and I'll be introducing Heckerbella Limited to us briefly. So, who is Heckerbella? Heckerbella is a business transformation software development company based in Nigeria. Um, what we do is provide digital solutions that helps businesses improve their operations, reduce costs, and increase the collaboration across different value chain. We're a technology consultancy that enables African decision makers, individuals, corporate organizations to make informed decisions about their businesses. So that is part of what we do. And as a technology-based company, we part of what we do is training and capacity development, which is one of the things we are here to do. So we build companies, we build people, we build also government. And so for digital solutions, we have our in-house solutions as Heckerbella. Okay, so this speaks to some of the things we do, from digital trainings and capacity building, IT advisory and support, project and product development and management, website, mobile app development, and entrepreneurship training. That includes soft skills like public speaking and the rest of them all. So for products, we have basically 4 main products that are ours, and one of them is the federal CRM that helps businesses manage leads from manage their pipeline from lead generation down to when it is closed out as a deal. And so for the healthcare sector, we have our HMS, which is Hacker Care, that helps business hospitals digitize their operations from document records keeping to bed to ward management to consultations and also appointment booking. Our Time HR solution is an all-in-one system that helps businesses manage from attendance of staff down to payroll to appraiser and even the admin part of the business. While the youngest product we have is a tenderly telemedicine solution that helps individuals speak directly with a doctor from the comfort of your phone through your mobile application. It could be an Android or an iOS application, a solution you have. You can just consult a doctor and then get professional consultation there. You get drug prescriptions and other recommendations based on what the doctors feels that is best for the person. So that is for us as a product, but we'll work with different companies to build solutions that suits them. And some of them is in training staffs of companies and also individuals. So that's a brief introduction of who Heckerbella is. Okay, so now we want to go to, because we time is of essence, we want to ensure that everyone gets the best of today's presentation. So we want to quickly go straight to why we are here. We'll be looking at the training on AI and machine learning, and I want to invite Sheriff. He's part of the lead in our training and development team. Funny, good enough to say, we have Heckerbella has its own in-house AI dedicated team for artificial intelligence. Is that not something wonderful to speak about? So I'll be calling on Sheriff now to come and do a brief talk about the content for today, and then bring in the speaker. Sheriff, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Manuel. Please confirm if you can hear me.
Loud and clear, loud and clear.
Okay, so from my end, today we're going to be speaking about artificial intelligence and machine learning. I think it's the latest of all technologies. Uh, so I think because of its demand in the market, I think it is quite needful for us to actually have a knowledge about this. So first of all, let me appreciate the Botswana team, every one of you there. Thank you for this wonderful collaboration. So looking at the table of content, uh, we're going to do introduction of our AI and ML. Then we're going to look at some of the components that actually make up the AI. And then we're still going to look at some key technologies that are spanning underneath AI. So we're going to be looking at technologies like machine learning, NLP, and maybe if possible, we can also look at deep learning. So we're still going to look at some practical application of AI around us, and then we look at potential career opportunities. So I think for anyone diving into AI, I think we always have one goal. We are trying to solve a technological problem. I'm also looking at our career development. So today we're going to be looking at Sam is going to be our guest speaker. Sam is actually the staff of Heckerbella. He has been with us for a very long time. He's a technology savvy person. So Sam is a seasoned experienced person in he started his career as a UI UX person. Then along the line, he's a very versatile person that has knowledge across board. So he actually dive into uh, artificial intelligence. Over the years, he has been the one leading our team in-house, just like Emmanuel has said. He has been the one leading the team for the AI. So as a result of that, I think it will be quite wonderful to have Sam present this topic to us because of his vast knowledge in artificial intelligence and machine learning. So at this point, I will hand over to Sam. Sam, you're highly welcome. You have the floor. Thank you all.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, Onome. Hi everyone. Wonderful to be here. So today we're speaking on the just as mentioned, just having a bit of introduction to AI as well as machine learning. So have that initial understanding of what it is, what it entails, the potential career paths that awaits within artificial intelligence, and what it holds for us or in various sectors that's all around us. So tomorrow is here already. We over the years, there's been lots of movies that we watch, science fiction, where we get to see, robots speaking to humans, actual having actual conversations, and being able to carry out tasks that we would, consider to be more very human specific, and machines that can think, understand, and propose solutions. They are no longer science fiction. It's here, and it's everywhere. From virtual assistants that we have at this time, like Siri and Alexa, to recommendation systems that we have on Netflix. When you go to Netflix and it tells you, oh, based on what you watch, we believe that this might be another good watch for you. Those are all intelligent first services and many much more. These intelligent machines are already everywhere and they are already enhancing our lives in one way or the other. So when we think about all of this in general, the first question we want to ask is, so what is artificial intelligence? Because we hear AI here, AI everywhere. But what really is artificial intelligence? And to explain that, we would say artificial intelligence refers to the simulation of human intelligence processes by machines. It is teaching computers how to learn, reason, and self-correct just like humans. So the moment a computer or a machine is able to perform certain processes that we would term as intelligent or smart, we refer to that computer or machine as an AI. And this encapsulates what we refer to as artificial intelligence in general. So when we speak on AI, the topic introduced this as artificial intelligence and then slash machine learning. Though those are two different words, machine learning is still a subset or a part within AI. We've given the broader understanding that AI is the concept of machines being able to carry out tasks in a way that we would consider smart. And that could happen in a plethora of ways. But any way that a machine is able to carry out a particular process or a particular task that seemingly makes it intelligent or smart, we consider that machine or computer to be an AI. But then machine learning, more specifically within that bracket, is the subset of AI that's focused on enabling machines, algorithms, to learn and train from data. So that we give it some information and then that machine is able to go through that information that we're giving to it and learn about what it's just been given. Teaching machines to improve their decision making through pattern recognition from experience. So machine learning, if we define that, it's been more specifically, we want a certain computer to be able to go through certain information or data that would give to it. And then from that information we're giving to it, it's able to understand and give us solutions or answers based on what it has learned from the information we have provided. That is more specifically then referred to as machine learning. And for any kind of AI that we think about, whether machine learning or any other various subsets that exist within AI, there's always three components that AI has to be comprised of. And those three components fall under these columns: data, algorithms, and computing power. Um, Data, which is far the most important of any AI system. It's sometimes referred to as the lifeblood or the raw materials of AI. It is the information that machines can learn patterns from. So for a machine to be intelligent, you need to have provided its data and information for it to know the things that it needs to either propose better solutions to. So data is very important. If we are alike, put this alike to humans, because as we explain what AI was, AI is a simulation of human intelligence. So if you refer to this in context with humans, when a child is born and then that child is being taught, this is a book, this is a pen, this is a car, this is a tree. Those different information that it's being fed into the knowledge of that particular child, those are all data. And all of those data is very important for how the child grows and how they have an understanding of the way things work or things are. Hence why data is very important. Next, we have on that column, it's the algorithms. So algorithms are sets of rules or instructions that tell the computer how to process data and make decisions. So these are rules that are set within that particular machine. This rules tells the machine, okay, when you give it data, how is it going to read that information? How is it going to make decisions from that information that it's reading? So the algorithms, we refer to these as the brains of the AI because they analyze the information you give. They try to find pattern in the information you provided, and then they can then over time learn these patterns and then be able to make decisions themselves in the future. And then finally, we have computing power. Computing power refers to the speed and the capacity of a computer to process data and run algorithms. And we've used data as the information that a human would receive. Our algorithms are basically our brains and how we process informations when we receive them. Computing power would then be our bodies and the energy that we need to process information that we hear. Because if we have no energy, say we haven't eaten for days, it becomes significantly difficult for us to learn new things and take in new approaches. So then this is the computing power that allows the algorithms to be able to move quickly to the data that you feed into that system. So for every AI machine that we see, they have to comprise of these three things: the data that's being fed to the system, the algorithm that goes to that data and analyzes it, and then the computing power that allows all of those various processes to run in the first place. So artificial intelligence, and so to then speak more specifically of machine learning, just as we've outlined, we know now that machine learning is a subset of AI that involves training algorithms to recognize patterns and make decisions based on the data that it has been fed. So what are the types of machine learning? We have three types of machine learning: supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. Supervised learning first is when we train we train these machines with labeled data. So for example, we want to train a machine to be able to recognize cars that are parked in a garage. So what we do is that we take different pictures of all different sorts of cars and we label them. We say this car is a Toyota Corolla, this car is a Honda Accord, this car is a Ford Fiesta. We give these labels to all of these cars and then we give it to this algorithm. And then this algorithm will learn and learn and learn. And then when we show it the cars that come into that garage at any point in time, it's able to tell us, oh, this is a Honda Accord, this is a Toyota Corolla. Because we've supervised that algorithm in learning, we've showed it what the data looks like, and we've labeled it that this is what that particular information or data is called when you see it. That is the first type of learning, supervised. Unsupervised learning, on the other hand, is where we provide the same data that we have in supervised, but now for this time, this data isn't labeled. So we don't tell it that this is this kind of car and this is this kind of car and this is this kind of car. We don't do that. All we do is we feed all of that information to the system, and the system has to be the one to now make those distinctions by itself. So the system, from looking at it, it will tell that, oh, a Toyota Corolla looks like this, looks a certain way. It's a saloon car. But then a Ford Fiesta is an SUV because it looks a certain way. It's this size, it's this big. So the algorithm itself makes those distinctions based on what you've now fed to it. So what that does for us is that sometimes it tends to expose hidden patterns or insights that we might have missed, or we might not have recognized that, oh, do you know that maybe the wheel sizes between a Toyota Corolla and a Toyota Camry, they're actually different. But because the system has to try to find differences by itself, it then tends to reveal this information that we might not even particularly be aware of. Those are one of the benefits of unsupervised learning. And then finally, we have for reinforcement learning. Just as the name mentions, we are trying to reinforce whatever that the algorithm is speaking of. So if the algorithm learns something and it gives us an answer, we then tell the algorithm that, oh, yes, this is correct, or no, this is not correct. And then over time, as the algorithm goes more and more and more of that, it begins to know what is correct and what is not correct. based on how well we have reinforced it. So the same way when you teach a child and then they ask a question and then you say, oh, what's the answer? And then they give you a wrong answer and say, no, that's a wrong answer. Then they go back and try to solve that question again and then give you another answer. That's the same as the reinforcement learning. We are trying to reinforce the learning where it's correct, where it's not correct. And then this over time guides the AI to make better and better decisions. So some of the real world impacts, that AI and machine learning is making across the world. I have listed 3 of them here, which is the business optimization, healthcare, and retail. How it's making impact in business optimization? It enhances the decision making and the operational efficiency. So once you have these intelligent machines inputted into your processes, it's easier to make certain decisions, whereas a human would have need to go through several large amounts of data and compare and analyze before they're able to come to a conclusion. But with AI, we could have all of this done within seconds. It's able to go through all of this data um, uh, much quicker than a human can, and then make comparisons and then analysis of the best steps to go forward with. So this helps with decision making. This helps with operational efficiency, because there's always there's less and less of that human error coming in with various things that could cause any kind of discrepancy in looking at the information that we have. We also have those impacts in healthcare. AI and intelligent machines are helping improve diagnosis and treatment plans. When we show X-rays of healthcare patients to these AI machines, they are able to quickly identify, bodies that shouldn't be present in those X-rays based on what they've seen. So as an AI machine, if I've seen, a millions of what a perfectly normal human body looks like on an X-ray, the moment you show me something that doesn't look, what a normal person should look like, that machine is able to quickly pick it up and send out the sensor. So it's really helpful in diagnosing. It's also really helpful in proposing treatment plans that are very specific to each individual, as long as it has, individual understandings of each of them. And then finally, in retail, some of the impacts are in inventory management, optimizing inventory management, and customer service. For customer service, I'm sure we've already had some of our experiences already with chatting with AIs on the internet. So what that does is that it's able to quickly place what we need and direct us into the right patterns relatively quicker by asking us certain questions, and then by our responses, it knows what to reply to us. These are all intelligent machines, and these are some of the impacts that they make across just very few sectors, as mentioned here. And then, so finally, some practical applications. By practical applications, it means these are systems that are already in place right now as we speak, of how AI is being used in various sectors and verticals. So one, predictive analysis. So one, we have forecasting trends and behaviors. With predictive analysis, AI is able to look at, okay, I can predict that if every year for the past 10 years, looking at the data, obviously, every year for the past 10 years, when it gets to December, there's a hike in price around certain commodities or goods or stocks. It's able to then potentially make a prediction that by this time, December again, in this year, there's going to be a potential hike in price, amidst the other factors that could come into place. So these are all predictive analysis that AI offers. Also with recommendation systems that we already have right now. When we go on Netflix to watch a movie, when we go on Amazon to get something, we see these recommendations where we see, recommended to buy items that we might have potentially viewed or might be interested in. So these are all taking patterns from, patterns we've established already in the system. So these intelligent machines are looking at our patterns, looking at our data, and trying to understand us. And then from that understanding, they recommend things that they believe that we might also like. And then finally, for the practical applications, we have fraud detection. With fraud detection, hello. So I'll go on. And then with fraud detection, AI has been able to identify fraudulent activities in real time. So basically, when someone is, as we all carry out our transactions, as those transactions are being logged into the system, they are being run through this AI, and then this AI will quickly tell, if this might be a fraudulent activity based on its information of what fraudulent activities have looked like in the past. So when it sees something happening similar, it's able to flag that particular activity as potentially fraudulent. So these are some of the applications of AI right now as we speak in the current world. Next slide, please. So let's speak about, we've spoken of machine learning, which is one of the subsets of AI. Let's speak about some of the other subsets of AI outside of machine learning. So for one, we have natural language processing, which is NLP. And while that might look like, a lot of words, we have actually interacted with a lot of NLPs ourselves. This will come in the form of Siri, to Alexa, to Google, to Bixby, any of the virtual assistants that we've interacted with. That's an NLP that we have interacted with. So an NLP is a subset of AI focused on the interaction between computers and humans using natural language, so using English or whatever other language that we have spoken to those virtual assistants with. So the goal of an NLP is to enable machines to understand, interpret, and generate human language. So first, they want to understand. So if we speak to them, that machine has to be able to understand what we've said. Then they want to interpret, meaning once they've understood what we said, they want to interpret the meaning of what we are saying and what we want. And then thirdly, they want to generate. So once they've interpreted what we want, they now want to generate language that we can understand as well. So if I ask an AI what day it is today, it first of all has to understand that what I'm saying is what day it is today. And then two, it has to interpret that I want to know what today's date is. And then three, it has to generate language for me to understand what it is that's given to me. So it then tells me that today is the 13th of July, 2024. So this is an NLP, and this is how NLPs work. So some of the real world impact of NLPs as of right now are customer service. So sometimes there's some customer service that we call, and we might even be speaking to an AI. That AI listens to us, listens to what we want, and then is able to direct us or give us the relevant information that we need to go ahead with whatever blocker that we have. We also have for market research, helps to provide insight into consumer sentiments and trends. So what this means is, that AI is able to go into social spaces, and then with those social spaces, it's able to say, these are what customers feel about your brand or your company based on the kind of comments or messages that are being said towards it. That's a sentiment analysis. It's sentiment analysis by it looks at the comment and say, oh, is this a good comment? Is this not a good comment? Is this a bad comment? So it gives a general overview of it for your brand or company. And then accessibility to help break down language barriers by making information more accessible globally. So you can speak in English to an AI, and then an AI is able to take in what you said, interpret it, and then say that back out as Chinese or French or Spanish. And then this helps breaks down accessibility barriers of being able to speak to multiple languages at the same time without any blockers in between. Some of the practical applications of where we can see NLPs right now are chatbots and virtual assistants, just like I said, like Siri, Alexa, Bixby, and all of that. We can see this in sentiment analysis. So some social media monitoring tools and machines that go in to collect feedback about our products. And then finally, in language translation, just like I said, like we have Google Translate, where we can say something and then it outputs to us what we've just said, but in another language. So the relevance of artificial intelligence as a whole. So we first look at the relevance and the industry impact, and then the growth. So for industry impact, if we look at some of the relevant relevance that AI is making in these industries, for healthcare, AI for diagnosis and personalized medicine. AI, as I mentioned, is already helping with diagnosing patients with certain medical conditions, and personalized medicine, because the moment an AI is able to understand the patient, understand all of the bios, the unique bios of that particular patient. They're able to personalize medicines for them. Whereas, a doctor would have to either, go through their logs and their notepads of what they've had on the patient, or have a really good memory of that patient. But AI will be able to do this without any sign of struggle, because they will just have heaps of those data already imbibed into their memory. Then there's finance. For finance, we have in that, with fraud detection, algorithmic trading. Just as I mentioned, it can detect frauds by the activities that it sees or that each person is making. So if it sees any activity that looks like something fraud related based on the data that's been trained on, it can quickly flag that account just as well. On retail, we have for customer insights and inventory management. Just as I mentioned, where in certain seasons, it can look over all the data that we have and say, oh, in certain seasons, certain items or stocks are far more required in those times. And then it can, tell you ahead of time that, oh, let's make this particular item, let's get double of that in stock because there'll be a lot more demand for it within a particular season. And then finally, for transportation, some of the impacts we already have and we know of: autonomous vehicles or self-driving cars. These are all run with AI. There's cameras all over it where that car, as it's moving, it's able to detect what's on the road, the best places to pass, the speeds to move at. These are all intelligent processes that are being done by these machines. Autonomous vehicles, and then route optimization. So you can look on the map and see the best routes to take towards the destination that we are headed, based on traffic, road availability, and all of those other components that might come into play for it. And then growth. So AI is rapidly becoming integral. I might even push that to say that AI is slightly already becoming integral to modern technology and is expected to revolutionize various sectors. Is expected, and it's already revolutionizing these various sectors, because the more we look all around us, more and more that we hear of AI, and the more and more it's being implemented into the various platforms that we are all in, because in various ways other than the major LLMs that we know of, AI is able to help improve the efficiency and the processes of a lot of tasks around the world. So some of the potential career paths in AI, in artificial intelligence and machine learning as we speak. So we have the machine learning engineer. They are responsible for developing and implementing machine learning models and algorithms to solve specific tasks. We mentioned earlier what the algorithms are. These are basically the calculations or the methods that we tell, code or these machines in how to process the data or information that we receive. So machine learning engineers are responsible for, developing these particular models and algorithms that would either, solve more specific problems that we have, depending on what it's targeted at. Data scientists, they analyze complex data sets to derive insights and build predictive models. So data scientists are able to, take all the large data that we have, maybe all of the information that pertains to a certain company, and then they can bring out insights from this particular information that could help people either then make important decisions going forward. There's also the AI research scientists that conduct advanced research to develop new AI techniques and technologies. They try to constantly do research to see how we can improve the current AI infrastructure and techniques. The NLP engineer, just as we mentioned, the NLP for natural language processing, they specialize in creating systems that can understand and respond to human language. So we're trying to see how that is able to be done better, how it can understand us, interpret, and then generate its own language back for us. There's also the computer vision engineer. The computer vision, they focus on enabling machines to interpret and make decisions based on visual data. So where computer visions coming in are in videos, where AI has been either shown an image or a video, and it's able to, point out, the things are on that image or on that video. That is computer vision. It's able to say that, oh, this is the horse, and this is a cat, and this is a man. And so we have engineers that are specifically focused to enable machines to carry out those actions much better and understand what it sees within a video or an image in general. Finally, we also have the AI product manager that manages the development and the deployment of AI-driven products. So very much the same way we have a product manager for software, as we all know of. An AI product manager is more specific to more AI-driven products to ensure that they also understand the impact that AI will potentially be making on that product, and then they are able to align the business goals and objectives, as well as the user needs, according to the specifications as needed for those AI-driven products as well. So some of the key skills required for the role, we just mentioned some of the roles that are already achievable within the field. And what are some of the key skills that we need to have in able to do well within these roles? So one, data handling, data processing, being able to clean, transform, and analyze data. Some of the databases that are being used for this as of right now are SQL, as well as also big data tools such as Hadoop and Spark. The soft skills are also required for the roles: problem solving, analytical thinking, and creativity. Being able to really think out of the box in trying to achieve several solutions or objectives. Communication, being able to explain technical terms to non-technical stakeholders. That's a massive soft skill to have. So being able to, first of all, understand those technical terms and then be able to pass on an explanation to non-technical stakeholders in a way that you're able to pass your information or communication pretty well. And finally, under soft skills, we have for teamwork. Being able to collaborate with cross-functional teams towards the objective that sets for the whole. The third key skill required are mathematical foundations. Mathematical foundation in statistics, linear algebra, calculus. These are all mentioned because these are all calculations or mathematical foundations that help with understanding several algorithmic buildings, even within the system, or working with code directly in the system. And having a really good foundations on this mathematical topics, just as mentioned here, helps in having solid foundation in understanding the ways to go about either building your algorithm or understanding how a system is supposed to function as a whole. And four, we have obviously programming. There's Python. There also are other programming languages, so that are also quite helpful in the process of the R and the C++. But the focus for here as right now is on Python. And then also frameworks that help within building the algorithms for systems with TensorFlow and PyTorch, as well as tools to help you in achieving that, such as Git and Jupyter notebooks. And then the fifth key skill required, domain specific knowledge. We want to try to have a really good understanding of the various subsets within AI, as mentioned. This helps us to be more more um, specific in our outputs towards what we want to achieve within AI. Having a very domain specific knowledge of NLPs, would help us in being more in being better NLP engineers, or computer vision, which is also more related to the computer vision engineers, as well as also the reinforcement learning to help us more or less pick a niche within the AI subsets and then try to make the most impact within those particular domains. So these are the key skills that are required for success within these roles, and being able to achieve any four or even more of these particular skills is really has already set us up for success within the field of AI and intelligent machines in general. So some of the benefits of deepening knowledge in AI. So as we see here on this table, due to the high demand of artificial intelligence professionals as of right now, there's a lot of benefits that come with us broadening our understanding or deepening our understanding of this technology. So high demand, lucrative salary prospects, opportunity for remote work, that's being able to work from anywhere in the world for any company, because this is the global demand, not just a national one. Growth and innovation in technology sectors. There's continuous growth and continuous innovation that AI has been pulling out more and more across the nation. So some of the skills, as well as the importance of these skills and the sources that we've gotten this from. So some of the most important skills within this technology space: data science and cloud computing, AI and machine learning, big data science, information security, software and application developments, um, Internet of Things, which is the IoT, DevOps and continuous integration, CI/CD, blockchain technology, robotic processes, process automation, and quantum computing. These are all of significantly high importance, and then as well, just from the sources that we've mentioned. So these are some of the benefits that we can point out to the benefits of deepening our knowledge within AI and machine learning. So thank you so much. I don't know if there are any questions for me via this introductory class to let us grasp into the field of AI and what it is, what it's been doing, what it's doing, and the skills that we would need to also thrive within this technology landscape.
Okay, guys, this is our Q&A section. If you have a question, please unmute yourself and ask the question. Alternatively, if you're shy, you could write in the chat and I would read it out loud for essay to answer. Thank you. Okay, while they're still typing, I have a question. Roughly how long does it take for someone to train an AI system, maybe for a basic model? How long is the learning, the machine learning process? How long does it take?
Yeah, okay. Well, just as you mentioned, the more any system is being trained on in the data it's giving, the better that system is in the in general. But for how long it takes, that would be determined by several factors: the amount of data it's being trained on, and the computing power it has to go through those data. So if you have a really large computing power, it's really able to go through data much quicker. But they say you have data in the petabytes. That's a lot of data. Those could take anywhere from days to hours, all depending on computing power. So there's no specific metric that I could mention, because factors such as the amount of data, the size of the computing power that's had, all of these, and then how much you want that data to be trained, or you want that AI to be trained on that data, all counts towards how long it would potentially take in training the system.
Okay. We have a question here from Brian. He says, how do we ensure ethical use of AI in various applications you have mentioned?
Okay, that's a pretty good question. I think ethics is the one thing that I always try to notion, even with all AI directions that anyone is going. How we help with ensuring that ethics are integrated into any AI-driven product is by following some of the standards or the we have established metrics for accessing that. So we follow ethics by, we want to ensure, is our AI, is it fair? Is our AI inclusive? Is it sustainable? Lots of these various shields that, as long as is it private, is it safe? As long as all of these are being taken into considerations within development, post development, and continuous evaluation of the system. These are how we're able to ensure that our AI systems are ethical. But it's a negligence of doing these things that then leads to that AI at the end of the day being providing an unethical use cases. So how we ensure it's always going to be from the team. First of all, it always has to begin from the team that's building a particular AI. They have to ensure from the very start this AI is sustainable, this AI is unbiased, this AI is it's safe, it's protects the privacy of the people using it, And as all those are taken into consideration, we then have the basis for creating more and more ethical AI.
Okay. I hope you've heard that, Brian. Also, Michelle has another question. Are there any challenges, problems experienced when implementing AI projects?
Well, are there any challenges experienced? Well, I don't think there's anything great that's been done that there aren't challenges that's been experienced with that implementation. You have challenges such as making sure the data that you have is clean, making sure that data is unbiased. Those are the challenges, first of all. Then once those data are good and clean, you have challenges such as ensuring that you have enough computing power or good enough computing powers to learn and train on the data that you provided. You have the challenge of ensuring that you have a vast amount of data to ensure that it accounts for the various localities and needs within it. There's a plethora of challenges that I could mention that are also faced with AI implementations, just as with any. And with those challenges, there's also then the plethora of solutions that come with implementing AI the right way.
Thank you. Sharif has his hand raised. Sharif, do you have anything to say?
Okay, wonderful topic, Sam. Thank you very much. But I would like you to speak on the part where people actually think AI is going to take that job. I think we've heard speculations probably around our space, thinking maybe when AI is fully implemented in our technology space, people are going to lose their job. Can you speak on that?
Yes, that is true. AI is going to displace several jobs, but at the same time, AI is still also going to create several jobs. This happens, or this comes with any revolution, just as we are aware, from the industrial age revolution that we have. Jobs will be taken off. There are certain jobs that would become obsolete just for the mere presence of AI being within that particular working environment. And then there are also jobs that would then become necessary just because that AI is within that working environment. So the need for us to want to increase our knowledge and understanding of AI at the end of the day is beneficial to us because the better we have understanding of these systems and how they work and how they function, the easier it is for any of us to adapt to that growing future of AI that's coming closer and closer for every one of us.
Okay, Ephraim, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, good evening. I hope you can get me. So my name is Ephraim Wereza. I'm from Kenya. My question to you will be: currently we are talking about generative AI, and being a developer myself, developing solutions in this field of AI. Where do you see the future of AI in Africa? Looking forward, looking like, yeah, given the fact that majority of the African population are youth, and we all know that here in Kenya there are challenges that majority of youth have no employment, and being that AI is a new technology, it gives us an opportunity to try and catch up with the existing trends in terms of to build our own localized solutions. But again, with AI comes the issues with the phobia, as you have raised. The people fear the losing of jobs, but in real sense, it looks like some of these jobs will be phased out, but there are still opportunities for job creation. So how do you see Africans positioning themselves for these opportunities in terms of AI? Because I understand in India currently they are training quantum engineering, which is going to be a major thing maybe in the later years. But currently we have AI, and given that our youthful population can be able to leverage on this, how best can we position ourselves for this revolution? Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah, just as you mentioned, Africa has a lot of youths. We have a lot of the largest growing youthful population in the world. And I think some of the efforts that you just mentioned with the Indian government making, we have to actively want to involve ourselves within the technology space, especially for growing technologies like this. Um, there's a lot of progress that's been made, by our Western counterparts, actually within these technologies, way that we are even now we are fully aware of. But we Africa, we know that in years to come, a lot of the youth of the world will be within this continent. So um, we want to be interested in it. We want to actually create a drive for bringing more people into the space and growing our own homegrown expertise within these fields. I think that's one of the things that we lack, to actually take up that interest and grow that expertise within the space, expertise within our own continent. So I think for one, growing that interest would help. And then for people, a lot of the people who speak on AI, it's because they have a less than basic understanding of how how AI works, and how it's potentially going to come into their workplaces and potentially take some of the jobs that they have. So once we're able to level up, at least above basic understanding, it's much easier to see how AI could play your roles and how you could play a role with AI, sufficiently making your operations or your processes much more effective. So having that understanding, you could potentially see where the transitions could happen, and then how you're able to play along the lines of making sure that that transition still involves you in there. But it's the negligence of that understanding, or the lack of want for them to want to understand how AI could come into our lives, that could be potentially threatening for every one of us in the future.
Okay, I think that now is the last question, I suppose. This is Brian. When it comes to outputs or results in any application, what is being put into place to prevent bias when training the algorithms?
Well, what has been put into place to avoid bias between algorithms on the data? Well, first off, it's your data is the first point of potential bias within the system. And for some of the things that put in place, it's just ensuring that there's always has to be checks. Uh, there's no AI solution that's built and then it's just shipped off and said that's done. We're doing nothing again on this, and that's it. Uh, all AI systems, they always has to be re-evaluations and rechecks on those systems to ensure that where potential biases might occur is being caught and then attended to. Because even you might have a really good data set that's very inclusive of everybody, and then you put that out, and then because there's no constant re-evaluations and rechecks, you might not realize that there are certain processes that AI carries that might be unknowingly have been built into its algorithm that might be projecting bias. But a constant evaluation of the system will help to ensure that these are quickly caught and these are quickly attended to. So just as I mentioned, first of all, with understanding that we're building an ethical AI, there are certain things that has to go into it. As I said, is it safe? Is it private? Is it sustainable? Is it accountable? Is it reliable? And then once these things go into while developing that AI system, these things always have to be rechecked and reevaluated, even for a working system or a working machine, to help us catch any abnormalities that weren't initially gotten. So that's how these systems are being kept ethical, because they are built ethically and then they are monitored ethically, even as they run.
Okay, guys, do we have any other question? I think we are good. If you guys are good, please give me a thumbs up in the chat. Thumbs up if everyone is good. No other questions? Okay, that's fine. So thank you guys for your active participation. We have covered a lot today. We've covered the basics of AI and we've went around the practical tools and the roadmap for getting into AI. So I hope this has sparked an interest in exploring the AI industry. And I would like to thank SA for the insights and the valuable content that everyone here has gotten. And I would like to acknowledge my brother Emmanuel for organizing the Heckerbella team. So before I give Emmanuel to give his closing remarks, I'm sending a feedback form in the chat. It's a survey that I'm asking you guys to fill it out. It won't take long. So please fill it out. This will ensure that we are really satisfying you guys in terms of the content and the material that you guys are getting. So I'm yet to send it. And also do make sure to look out for our next bootcamp, which is the Introduction to Data Analytics, where we are going to cover a lot about data analytics. So thank you guys. Emmanuel, do you have anything to say?
Thank you so much, Bankang. Once again, it's been a very, very interesting and educating time with the team here. I can't really under emphasize the need for the value that we get from these webinars. The one for the previous session was mind-blowing. This also was intriguing as promised. So just to like was on Bankan said, on 20th we have another coming up, and let's spread the words. That's what I want to say here. There is need to, why not, don't hoard the knowledge, get someone else to join you, fill up the survey forms, and invite your friends to come learn what you're getting from here. Once again, thank you to Sam for doing justice to the topic of the day. Thank you, Sheriff. We look forward to another interesting session come next week.
Thank you, Emmanuel. And so guys, I'm sending the link right now. Please fill up the survey and we hope to see you guys next week. Thank you guys. And I hope you guys are enjoying your President's holidays for those in Botswana. Yeah. Thank you guys. See you next week. Bye.